Hi, it's Cassie. Welcome to a new video. We are going to make a really fun Easter basket using some Grafix amazing products. Quickly going to run through what we're using. We have two different types of shrink film. I'm going to use yellow and clear, and you'll see that in a moment. We also have white craft plastic, and that is going to be the base for our basket. We have some double tack mounting film. I've just got a sheet of it out here. And then I'm going to be working on an inking palette sheet. And I'll talk about this when we get there. But these are really great to have in your stash for working on, and keeps your desk from getting too messy, and can be used after for fun projects as well. So I'll tell you more about that as we go. So the first thing that I want to do is create our shrink pieces. So I have a couple of stamp sets, excuse me, from Visible Image. So the first one here is called Random Art of Kindness, and it's just got some really pretty flowers in it. I'm going to be using this flower here. And then this one is called Wings of Change, and I'm going to be using the larger butterfly with the text inside of it. Okay, and we're just going to make some fun little charms to go on our basket. Okay, so I'm getting the big butterfly out here, and you can stamp on your shrink film, and I'm going to show you that right now. You need to use StazOn or some type of solvent ink, because this is a non-porous surface, so that will give you the best results. And I'm just using jet black here, but of course StazOn comes in many colors. You could use whatever color you like. So I'm just inking up my butterfly and stamp it down. Now, one tip I will give you when you stamp it down, just set it down and press gently, and try not to move too much, because it is a little bit slippery. This is a plastic material, you know. So just be aware of that. But I mean, look, you have a perfect imprint there. Okay, then we're going to do similar thing with the yellow, except we will be using the flower, this fun flower here. I'm just going to use one flower type, but you could even do a nice little bouquet or something. That would be really sweet. And here we go. So I'm just inking up again with the StazOn, and I'm going to stamp right onto the shrink film. Just gently put it down. Don't move it around too much. It could be a little bit slippery. Give it a firm press everywhere. And there we go. Look at how great that impression is. It's perfect. Okay, maybe I'll do two of the flowers. Next, I'm just going to use some scissors to cut these out. I'm going to sort of fussy cut them, but not get too close to the black line. Okay, so now all of these are cut out. I'm going to show you close up that I got close to the black line, but not all the way. So don't worry about getting, you know, cutting it so perfectly. So now I'm going to use, I just have a pokey tool here. And first I'll do the flowers and show you how to do this. Now you can bake these in the oven, and there are instructions on the packaging for that if you choose to. Maybe if you want to make a bunch of these all at once, it might be easier to just put them on a cookie sheet in the oven and bake them for a couple of minutes. But if you're just making one or two and you want to work at your desk and you don't want to go to the oven and heat it up, you can use your heat tool to do that, okay? So for the flower here, I'm just going to hold this pokey tool in the center of the flower, and I've got a heat gun here that has low and high temperature, and I'm using the high temperature. So make sure whatever heat gun you're using that it has a high temperature, something you might use for thermal embossing. Okay, I brought the camera a little closer so you can see a little bit better what's going to happen. But I'm going to run this heat gun, and I'm going to let the video show the process, because this is going to curl up on itself, and then as it gets to its final size, it will sort of flatten back out. Okay, and you're going to see me touch this with my fingers. It is warm. okay? It obviously isn't hot enough to hurt my fingers, but I also know my sensitivity to heat. So I would say for you, you know yourself best, and I would say use precaution. It will be hot, and maybe wear gloves if you are sensitive to heat, or just don't touch it until it's cooled. But just want to make sure you're aware. You just need to be careful. It's, you know, you don't have to touch it. You can use a tool, you can wear gloves, there are a lot of things you can do. So just be aware of that, and, you know what your limits are. Okay, here we go. While it's still warm, I'm going to pick mine up sort of just on the ends, because I want the ends to kind of go out a little bit so it's not completely flat. And I see this one side isn't fully heated. There we go. And so while it's still hot, it is kind of pliable, but you'll if you're doing this, you will feel it get to a point where it is hard and it's not going to move anymore. So here I have curled it up a little bit. Butterfly here. So this butterfly has some really nice text on it. Okay, and so here we go with the clear butterfly. Now the butterfly, I am going to lift the wings. All right, so I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm just starting with it held down in the middle, and we'll heat it. Okay, and I want the wing, it's pretty hot, so just be careful, but I want the wings to be up a little bit, just a little bit, as it cools. Trying to get the wings up and out. There we go. Pretty good, pretty good. All right, it's cooling and I don't want to crack it. So here it is, and you can see, if I get close enough, maybe you can see that text in there still. Maybe if I put it on a white background, you might be able to see a little bit better. Here we go. Can you see how crisp that is? And you can still see all of that text in there. It's really fantastic. So there we go. We've got our shrink pieces made. Okay, wonderful. So now let's work on the actual basket. Okay, so I'm going to put these aside. And I've got some opaque white craft plastic here. I've got an 8x8 piece that I've cut down from 12x12, or whatever size you want. You can make this basket any size you want. Just make sure that you start with a square piece of the craft plastic in whatever size you want. You can make really tiny ones or really big ones. It's up to you. This is an 8x8 piece, and you'll see how big it is in the end. And then I just have a strip of a 3/4 inch by 12 inch piece of opaque craft plastic for the handle. Okay, so we're going to decorate this in a moment. First though, I would like to show you where we put the creases. Okay, so I said that I cut it to 8x8, but here I'm going to get my cutter out, which also I can use to crease lines, and I'm just putting it next to where the cut line is. So we've got 8x8, and I'm going to crease it at, make sure it's all lined up right. Here we go. I'm going to crease it at 2.5, a little bit on me, and we're going to go, so that was 2.5, and now we're going to go do the same thing at 5.5. And this is if you're using an 8x8 square, okay? If you've got a different size square, then you will need to figure out your measurements. Just really all you want to make sure is that the two end pieces are the same size. So this is 2.5 and this is 2.5, and there's a little bit extra in the middle. Okay, and then I'm going to flip this 90 degrees and do the same thing again. So we'll have a grid when we're done. So 2.5, okay, and then 5.5. There we go. All right, now what I want to do is take the first crease line to the point where my cutter is, okay? And we're going to cut a few lines. You can use your scissors for this as well, but this, I'm already here, it's easy, and I'll get a nice straight line. So I'm just going to cut, so if you look at your piece now that you've creased it, you've got 9 boxes here, okay? So this first box in the upper right corner, I'm just going to cut down to where the horizontal crease meets. Okay, so we're just cutting 1/3 of the way down. All right, 1/3 of the way. Okay, and then I'm going to leave this where it is. I'm going to take my blade down to the bottom and do the same thing going up from the bottom, just 1/3 of the way. So now you have flaps, okay, on the top and bottom, and this middle part is untouched. So then I'm going to flip this over so that here, this is now just on this side. You want to make sure all your cuts are parallel, okay? So now I'm going to do the same thing over here, and I'll start on the bottom this time, and we're just cutting toward the middle. Okay, so now I have a bunch of flaps. All right, and this middle section is untouched. All right, we are going to decorate with alcohol ink. So I've got my inking palette here. I'm going to take this off, and these are really nice because it's got a lot of sheets in here, if you can see. And it's just a piece of clear plastic with a piece of tissue paper in between. And that's how this whole pad is made, and it's gummed on these short ends here. So you can use it just like this. Let's move this over a little bit. There we go. So we're going to use this inking palette here just like this, and when I'm done I will tear this top piece off, and then a fresh piece will be under it, and you can use it for the next time. And they are really, really convenient and easy to use. I love them so much. So here we go. We've got our opaque white craft plastic. I'm going to put that off to the side, and I have 3 colors of Jacquard Alcohol ink. Okay, I have, let's see, I'll tell you the names of them. I have Sunbright Yellow, Calabaza Orange, and Senorita Magenta. So we're going to make a fun, warm colored Easter basket. Now, all right, so for this one, I am going to start with the yellow, and I'm just going to put yellow everywhere, okay? And I kind of want to use my brayer, here's my little brayer, to just move this color. Oh, it's got some orange on it from before. It's okay. A little bit of orange is good for us. So let's add a little bit more orange, actually, since I already have some in here, just a tiny bit, and we're just going to move it around. So we've got a couple different colors going on here, okay? And then we're just going to smush this down in it. Okay? Smush it right in there. Pretty, so pretty. Okay, and then the spots where you have white, you can just bring it back in and pick up some more color. And if it's starting to dry on you, because this is just a really thin layer of alcohol ink, you can take, this is just 99% isopropyl alcohol in a squirter bottle. So you can just do this and sort of reactivate it. You could also use the blending solution, you know, from Ranger or whatever brand you're using. They all have different blending solutions. Okay, so I really like this. I think this looks fantastic. It's going to be really, really cool when we're done. So next, what I want to do is put this off to the side. I want my my basket here to be here so I can stamp on it, but I still need to use my palette over here, okay? And I really want to use this magenta with these flowers. This is a flower stamp. You can see it's very well loved, and it's got acrylic paint dried on it, so hopefully it's going to work okay. We'll see how it goes. I've used it so many times and I really love it. So the first thing I want to do though is make space on my palette here. I've sprayed it with alcohol, and I'm just going to wipe, which is another beautiful thing about this palette. It's plastic, so I can, as long as I've got a good, you know, I've got alcohol ink to wipe that off here, now I can work on this spot. Okay, so now I'm going to put some of this margarita down. Actually, a pretty good amount of it, because I'm going to stamp into it, and I need to make sure I have enough. So we're going to spread this out. Isn't that gorgeous? Ooh, baby, that's so pretty. Okay, and then I'm going to take my stamp and dip it in. And then let's see if we can get some impressions on here. I'm just going to, I'm stamping with alcohol ink. Let's see if it works. Oh, a little bit. All right, let's try some more. I'm going to spray this with alcohol. And then I'm going to put some more down. And I'm really going to juice it up here. Okay, let's see if we can get a better impression over here. You could also just stamp with StazOn ink or something, you know, solvent ink. Oh, that looks really good. That looks really good. Okay, this is exactly what I wanted, so this is going very well. I'm actually just going to go back over this area. I don't mind if it looks a little bit messy. Yes, this is great. Now, they're very abstract flowers here, but I think it just looks so pretty. I'm really, really pleased with these results. And it's such a bright pop of color against that yellowish orange background. And look at how long this ink is staying wet for when you add that alcohol to it. It really is working nicely. Okay. Oh, that looks so great. Okay. I do want to have a yellow base. So I'm going to put some more yellow out here. Okay. And then I'm just going to, I'm doing both sides. So I'm going to dip. And I don't mind if it's yellowish orange or get some pink in it. Yeah, all those colors are going to be really beautiful. Gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. I want it to be, here we go, let me show you. I want it to have a little bit of, you know, the different tones in it. I'm going to flip it over, do the same thing. And yes, my fingers are getting very dirty, but it's okay because they can wash in the sink. Okay, now I will show you how to get rid of this inking palette and get ready for the next. So I'm just going to pull from the corner and tear off one side, tear off the other. And then the next layer, as I showed you, is a piece of tissue paper. And then you've got a clean palette ready to go for the next time. But if I just put this tissue paper here, look at this. Don't throw this away. Cut this up, use it in your art journal and other projects. You can die cut with this. It's just a piece of acetate basically, and you can do anything you want. And look at all this beautiful color you have on here. So definitely don't throw it away or waste it. Save it and use it for something else. But now you've got a clean inking palette for your next project. Okay, we're going to put that aside now. Okay, this is nice and dry now. I've decided though that I think I really want to put some kind of color on the inside because you are going to see this inside quite a bit actually. You'll put candies and treats and stuff in there, but you're still going to see it. So I think I really want to bring back my palette piece here, the one that we were using before, and I think I'm just going to spritz it with alcohol. I don't care what colors I get, I just want some color. So I'm just going to squish it in here like I did on the other side, just so I can get some fun color going on the inside as well. Why not? All right, let's see what we've got here. Look at how pretty. Oh, it's amazing. I'm going to leave it just like that. I don't mind the white spaces, and I think that looks fantastic. So now we really are done with that inking palette, and I am going to dry this side, and then we'll put it all together. So now I'm going to recrease my sides here, just make sure that we're ready to go. Okay, looks good, feels good. Okay, so now I need to get my mini stapler and my handle. Okay. The way that I like to do this is for these middle flaps to be on the inside when I fold it. So I'm going to turn this sideways so you can see what I'm doing. Okay. So this middle flap is going to go on the inside, and the two outer flaps are going to overlap each other. Whoop, here we go. So you're going to pick which side you want to be on the outside, okay? And then you are going to overlap it just enough so that the two top points touch each other, okay? So it's going to be not a perfect square like a box, but slightly opened, all right? And then I like to flip this over, so I'm looking at it from the inside. Make sure those corners are lined up, and I'm fairly even on both sides. Then I'm going to take one side of my handle and put that on the inside, in between. I like to tuck it in between the two flaps. Okay, so I'll show you better when once I've actually adhered it together. Then I take my tiny stapler and I staple it all together. Okay, so this is what it looks like then from the inside. Let's see if I can, I'm going to open these flaps so it's a little easier for you to see. Okay, so I've tucked it behind this inner flap, in between the inner and outer flaps from that side. And then from the outside, it's underneath. Okay, so that's it. So now I'm going to do the exact same thing on the other side. So my middle flap goes in, my two outer flaps, I decide which side I want to be visible. Okay, so I'm going to choose that one. And then I'm going to sort of evenly line these up so that just the tops of those corners are touching. Okay, and then I'm going to take my handle and tuck it in between those two sides, and you can tuck it as much or as little as you want, depends on how tall you want your handle to be. Make sure it's fairly straight, and then get your mini stapler and staple. It's really the easiest way to attach it all. So there we go. Look at, we've got the sweetest little Easter basket. Could just be a spring basket. You could put all sorts of treats and things, and look at the inside. Oh, it's so gorgeous. This could even just be, even like with or without the handle, you could make these and then just have them have art supplies in them on your desk even. How adorable is this? And you can decorate them however you like. Just, there's so many uses, and it's such a simple container. Okay, so now we need to use those pretty shrink film pieces that we made, right? So the first thing we're going to do is get our double tack mounting film. Okay, it's just a nice big sheet of adhesive that's got protective barrier covers on either side. So I'm just going to cut a little strip, and I'm mainly going to use it here to just stick these pieces on here. So I've just got like a little tiny square here, okay? And I am going to peel back one side. And my main purpose for the sides with the flowers is to cover up that staple. Okay, so I've peeled off one side. I'm going to cover that staple with the adhesive, and then I'm going to peel back the top layer. So now I've just got some sticky stuff right there, and I'm going to stick down my my flower shrink film. And there we go. Look at how cute that is. Now you've got a cute little charm on the outside of your basket. And we're going to do the same thing to the other side. So I've just cut another rectangle of the opaque craft plastic. Going to peel back one side of that and stick it right over that staple. So we hide our hardware here. Alright, peel back the other side and stick down our flower. And as long as you've left enough of a flat bit of the flower, it'll stick just fine. And look at how cute. Now we have one on either side, adorable. And then this little butterfly, I'm going to cut one more piece. Okay, cut one more piece here. I'm going to, I think I want to stick the butterfly maybe on this side, just kind of off to the side, not necessarily directly in the middle. And this is just a cute little decorative piece. So taking off the backing, and I'm going to stick this guy right down. Oh my goodness, it's so adorable. I just love this so much. Okay, so let me show you close up how adorable this is. Here is our whole basket, and look at that cute little flower on there, and that beautiful stamped flower on the side. Super, super pretty. Love it so much. All right, and then we've got the cute little butterfly there. If I tip this way, you can see from the top we've got an adorable butterfly. All right, and there it is sideways. So, I hope you found inspiration today and enjoyed this project. If you did, please consider liking this video, hitting the thumbs up, and subscribing to my channel so you don't miss future videos. Also, if you'd like to learn more about graphics products, please visit graphicarts.com. Thank you so much. Have a great day.